I spent 3 months training a newbie. He earns 40% more than me. Same job, same position. I'm his mentor. The boss said, "The market has changed. We pay new people more." And I only got a small raise. 5 years on the job. I'm training my higher-paid colleague. My name is Alex. I'm 29 years old. I live in Denver, Colorado. I work, or rather, worked, as a senior data analyst at a mid-sized IT company. This is the story of how I learned that my loyalty was worth minus $40,000 a year. How I joined the company. I joined DataFlow Solutions 5 years ago, right out of college. The starting position was junior data analyst. The salary was $45,000 a year. Not much, but okay for a first job. Plus, the company promised rapid growth. I worked like crazy. I was the first to arrive and the last to leave. I took on difficult projects that no one else wanted. I learned new technologies in the evenings and on weekends. A year later, I was promoted to analyst. My salary was $50,000. A year later, to senior analyst. My salary was $55,000. I was happy. My career was growing. So was my salary. By my 5th year, my salary was $58,000. In 5 years, I'd received a $13,000 raise. Not bad, I thought. My role in the company. By my 5th year, I had become one of the key members of the department. I managed 3 major projects simultaneously. I trained new recruits. I was the liaison between our department and clients. My immediate manager, Steve, constantly praised me. "Alex, you're irreplaceable. I don't know what we'd do without you." At annual reviews, I always get top marks. Exceeds expectations. Critical team member. Shows leadership potential. When I asked about a raise, Steve would say, "We see your contribution, Alex. The budget is tight right now, but that will change soon. Just be patient." I did. A year, 2, 3. Every time, the same words. Soon. Budget is tight. Be patient. This January, Steve said, "Alex, we've hired a new senior analyst. Brad. He starts Monday. I'd like you to take him under your wing and train him." "Of course," I agreed. "I've trained new hires many times before." "Great. He's from a different industry and it'll take time to adjust. You're the best person to bring him up to speed." Brad showed up on Monday. A young guy, 26 years old. Nice, energetic. He has a good education, a master's in computer science. But he has 0 experience in our field. "Hi, I'm Brad. Glad to join the team." He shook my hand firmly. "Alex, welcome. I'll be training you for the first few months." "Great. I heard you're an expert here. I want to learn a lot." I was pleased. Nice guy. Motivated. For the next 3 months, I taught Brad everything. I showed him how our systems work, explained processes, shared scripts I'd been developing for years, presented them to clients, every day, several hours one-on-one. Brad was grateful. "Dude, you're a lifesaver. Without you, I would have drowned in the first week." "No problem. We've all been there." I gave him my old projects to practice on, checked his work, fixed bugs. I was basically doing the work of 2 people, my own and helping him with his. Steve was pleased. "Great job, Alex. Brad is settling in quickly thanks to you." I nodded. I felt proud of my mentorship. Brad was becoming a good employee. I was happy for him. We even became friends. We went to lunch together. We discussed projects, life, and plans. Everything changed one day in April. Brad asked for help with a technical issue. He came to my desk. "Alex, can you take a look at my script? Something's not working." "Sure, show me." He opened his laptop. He started showing me the code. He was interrupted by a call. "Sorry, this is an important call. Just a minute." He walked away, leaving the laptop on my desk. I stared at the screen, waiting for him to return. And then I saw a notification in the corner of the screen, a new email in Gmail. The email subject flashed for a split second, but I managed to read it. Your compensation package at DataFlow Solutions. Compensation package. Curiosity got the better of me. I knew I shouldn't, but I clicked on the notification. The email opened. It was an automatic reply to his HR question about something tax-related. But in the conversation thread was the original email, an offer letter. We are pleased to offer you the position of Senior Data Analyst with an annual salary of $98,000. $98,000. I reread it. I thought I was mistaken. No. $98,000. My salary is $58,000. The difference is $40,000 per year. $40,000. Almost 70% more than me. Same title. Senior Data Analyst. But he's new. No industry experience. Whom I'm training. And I've been with the company for 5 years. A key employee. I'm training him. And I'm getting paid $40,000 less. Brad returned. Sorry for the wait. So, where were we? I closed the email. Forced a smile. Oh, right. Your script. Let's take a look. But inside, I was burning. That evening, I couldn't think of anything else. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I misread it. But the number was clearly imprinted in my mind. $98,000. I started researching market salaries for our position in Denver. Glassdoor, Senior Data Analyst in Denver. Average salary, $82,000. LinkedIn, salary, $78,000 to $95,000. Indeed, $75,000 to $90,000. Brad's salary was at the high end of the market. Mine was significantly lower. I was at least $20,000 underpaid compared to the market. And compared to Brad, it was $40,000. How is that possible? I've been here for 5 years. Excellent ratings. Key projects. And a newbie gets almost 1.5 times more? The next day, I cautiously spoke to another colleague, Mike. We worked at roughly the same level. He'd been with the company for 4 years. At lunch, when no one was around. Mike, can I ask you a personal question? Of course. How much do you make? I just want to know if my salary is reasonable. He hesitated. It's a little awkward. I understand. Just between you and me. I'm 58. And you? He sighed. 62. But I got a $5,000 raise last summer after threatening to quit. 62. Still much less than 98. Do you know how much they pay new hires? I asked. No. Why? I just heard the market has changed. I wonder if they pay new hires more. Mike paused. I wouldn't be surprised. Several people recently left specifically because of salaries. They say the company only offered them raises when they brought in an offer from another company. But regular employees hardly get any raises. Classic. Punish loyalty, reward departure. I decided to talk to Steve directly. I scheduled a one-on-one meeting. Steve, I wanted to discuss compensation. He nodded as usual. Alex, I know we haven't reviewed your salary in a while. We're preparing the annual budget now, and I promise to raise the issue. I found out how much Brad makes, I interrupted. Steve fell silent. His face tightened. That's confidential information. Where are you? It doesn't matter where you're from. He makes $98,000. I'm 58. We're in the same position. But I've been training him for 3 months now. Explain this to me. Steve leaned back in his chair. Alex, the market has changed. To attract good candidates, we have to offer competitive salaries. And me? Don't I deserve a competitive salary? You're already here. You have a stable position. A stable position for $40,000 less than a newbie? Alex, calm down. I understand your frustration. Upset? Upset? I've been working here for 5 years. Every year you say, be patient, we'll raise it soon. And then you give a new hire almost $100,000 right away. That's the reality of the labor market. New hires have to be paid more, otherwise they won't come. And you can pay the old employees pennies because they're loyal? I didn't say pennies. A $40,000 difference, Steve. That's not an error. That's systemic undervaluation. Steve sighed. What do you want me to do? Raise my salary to market level, at least to $90,000. That's a 32,000 increase. I can't just approve that kind of raise. But can you hire a new hire for 98? Those are different budgets. Recruitment and retention? Retention? You're losing me right now if you don't fix this. Silence. Alex, give me some time. I'll talk to HR and higher management. We'll see what we can do. How long? 2 weeks. I promise I'll get back to you with an answer in 2 weeks. Update 1. Steve scheduled a meeting in 2 weeks. I came with hope. Maybe they'll finally understand the injustice. Alex, I spoke with HR and the director. We value your input. We're ready to offer you a raise. My heart beat faster. How much? $8,000 a year. That'll bring your salary up to $66,000. $8,000. Out of the $32,000 I asked for. I'll still be making $32,000 less than Brad. Are you kidding? Alex, that's a significant raise, almost 15%. 15% underpay. I'll still be $30,000 below market rate. We can't compare you to Brad. He has a different background. What background? He came in with no experience in our industry. I taught him everything. Still, this is the most we can offer right now. Then I'm leaving. Steve turned pale. Alex, don't make any hasty decisions. This isn't a hasty decision. It's the consequences of 5 years of systemic undervaluation. Think about your future at the company. You have good growth prospects. What growth? So that in 5 years you'll be making the same as a new hire makes today? Give us a little more time. Time's up. I got up and left. Update 2. That same evening, I updated my resume on LinkedIn, changed my status to open to work, started applying for jobs, senior data analyst, lead analyst, analytics manager. In 2 weeks, I received responses from 7 companies, completed 4 initial interviews. 3 companies invited me to the next stages. The process moved quickly. The market was truly hot for specialists with my experience. A month later, I had 2 offers. Offer 1, lead data analyst at a tech startup, $95,000 plus options. Offer 2, senior data analyst at a large corporation, $92,000 plus bonuses up to $15,000. Both were significantly higher than I was receiving. I chose offer 1. The startup was interesting, and the position offered more responsibility. Accepted the offer. Update 3. I wrote a formal resignation letter. He scheduled a meeting with Steve. Steve, I'm quitting. Here's my resignation. 2 weeks' notice. He took the paper, read it, turned pale. Alex, are you serious? Absolutely. Because of the salary? We can discuss. Now. When am I quitting? Where was that willingness to discuss it a month ago? We were limited by budget, but we weren't limited when we hired Brad for $98,000. Alex, please, let's find a solution. How much did they offer you? $95,000, plus options. Steve swallowed. We can match that offer. Really? You can now? A month ago, you could only give an $8,000 raise? I'll talk to the director. I'm sure we'll find a way. No, Steve. I've made a decision. The problem isn't just money. The problem is that you don't value your existing employees. Only when they quit do you suddenly find the budget. That's not true. That's exactly it. How many people have left our department in the last year? 5? 6? And you only offered each one a raise when they brought an offer? Steve remained silent. I don't want to work for a company that punishes loyalty. Goodbye, Steve. Update 4. The last 2 weeks have been weird. Steve asked me to document all my processes and projects. For a smooth transition, he explained. Who should I hand it over to? I asked. Brad will take over your key projects. Of course. Brad, the guy I trained, who makes $40,000 more. Now he'll take over my projects. The irony was painful. I spent a week imparting all my knowledge to Brad, showing him systems, clients, and nuances. He was grateful. Thank you, Alex. It's a shame you're leaving. You were the best mentor. You're welcome, I said, trying not to sound bitter. On the last day, the company held a small farewell party. Cake, cards. Steve gave a speech. Alex has been an important part of our team for 5 years. We wish him success in his new role. His colleagues applauded. Mike came up to me afterward. You did the right thing. I started looking too. I don't want to wait until I'm undervalued like that. 3 other colleagues said the same thing. I'm leaving, but I've started a chain reaction. Update 5. It's been 6 months since I left. My new job, lead data analyst at a tech startup. Salary, $95,000 plus options. The work is more interesting, more responsibility. The best team. I'm happy. I see potential for growth. I recently got a raise to $102,000 for good results in the first 6 months. $102,000, almost double what I was making at DataFlow. What happened with DataFlow? Mike left a month after me. He received an offer of $88,000 from another company. 2 more analysts left after me. Steve was trying to hire replacements, but the market was hot. Good candidates demanded high salaries. 4 months later, Steve quit. Word is he was accused of failing to hold the team together. Brad. I recently bumped into Brad at a coffee shop. Alex, how are you doing, man? Great. How are you? Well, it's tough, to be honest. After you and Mike left, the whole workload fell on me. I'm working 12 hours a day. I'm thinking about quitting. Look for a new job. The market is good now. Yeah, I guess. By the way, thank you for training me back then. Without your knowledge, I wouldn't be able to cope now. I nodded. Without malice, it wasn't his fault. Lesson. Companies will pay you the minimum as long as you put up with it. Loyalty is often punished and leaving is rewarded. Don't be afraid to change jobs. The market pays for skills, not years at one company. My question for you. Reddit, here's my story. 5 years of loyalty cost me $40,000 a year. I trained an employee who earned 70% more than me. The company only found the budget when I quit. My questions. 1. Should I have looked for a new job sooner instead of waiting for a raise? 2. How often should I change jobs to keep up with the salary market? 3. Am I to blame for starting a chain reaction of layoffs in the department? I left. I received a fair salary, but I destroyed the team. Was it worth it? PPS. For those who ask, why didn't I look for a new job sooner? Because I believed the promises. Every year they kept telling me, we'll get a raise soon. I trusted them. That was my mistake. PPPS. If you haven't changed jobs in a while, check the market salaries for your position. You might be missing out on thousands of dollars a year without even knowing it. Thank you to everyone who read this far. Know your worth, and don't be afraid to seek what you deserve.